Tonight on Hip on the Spot News, we discover reality in a new tactical shooter. The internet has spoken and we got another hype title. We watch revolutionary scenes that get Natasha worried. And we wonder, what will the future bring? This and more on How I Play. Hello virtual soldiers, I'm Andre Celesti, and tonight we are going to take a look at what could be the future of tactical first-person shooters, or should I say body cam shooters. Well, we are all familiar with the genre one way or another. If you are my generation, you will recognize titles like SWAT 3, Rainbow Six, Project EG, and so on. Fast forward to recent times, games like Escape from Tarkov, Ready or Not, Arma 3, Squad, and many others scratch the itch for your tactical first-person shooter requirements.
But wait a minute, what about DCS?
Dear Petrovich, today we're discussing something else.
Did I do anything wrong?
No. Let's move on. So all of the previous titles that I mentioned brought little change to the genre in regards of gameplay and features. Some did with the introduction of loot like Tarkov, more customization for weapons and so on, but apart from a graphical enhancement and a few tweaks here and there, the formula remains the same. And I totally get it. Why should you change something that already works? But I stand corrected, as indeed we should push the envelope and bring new things that we can experience in the virtual environment. Enters Unrecord, a single-player FPS that brings something new. What I'm about to show you is a video game and not reality. The game tells the story of a tactical police officer from the perspective of his body camera. As you work to solve a complex case, you'll need to use your tactical and detective skills to succeed. This is catalogued as a narrative and tactical FPS, and it's still in pre-production. The developer at Dramas Studios has produced some outstanding reactions from the community with their early gameplay footage in engine. And yes, we are talking about the Unreal 5 engine. I asked Natasha to take a look at the footage and she was shocked and then immediately worried. When I asked why, she only said this looks too real. Now, is there such a thing? We will discuss this in a future video, maybe in one of our Hip Talk shows, but let's move on for now. I was mentioning that Unrecord brings something new to the table. Yes, I wasn't making that up. The title will feature an original aiming system, free aiming system with authentic ADS and unrestricted hand movements. Some of you may remember trying this in Arma, even from the original version of Armed Assault. Yes, I know, I am old.
But that's an ordinary thing in Transylvania, if you know what I mean.
So I am very curious to see how they implement this adaptive aiming system. From the video, we can understand it's something we may need to get used to. Who knows, maybe it won't be something that will work for everyone. One thing is for sure, Unrecord is a unique tactical shooter, and once we get the chance, we will enter the scene with high expectations in immersion. It will also feature a complex dialogue system, innovative gameplay mechanics, and tough moral dilemmas to be decided in a game, where realism is key. It won't feature a multiplayer mode, as the game is not designed to be a multiplayer experience. They want to maximize the cinematic and realistic experience, and branching into a multiplayer game would prevent that. I totally understand that. So, if it's a cinematic shooter, what about the story? From what we understand, the storyline in Unrecord can be compared to a detective novel or a thriller. The player will have to investigate several criminal cases and confront a different cast of characters. The game's plot and presentation will be central to the gameplay experience, and players can anticipate a range of gameplay sequences as well as numerous plot twists. Nice! With all of the new movements of camera and aiming systems, you may ask yourself, what if it causes motion sickness? The devs are working on implementing options and settings to adjust camera movement, effects, and accessibility options to make the game more comfortable to play for all. As expected, the game doesn't have yet a release date, and it's still in early stage of development. The development is made by Drama, an independent studio that was created in 2020. Unrecord will be their first title in the video game market, and I hope that one day it will make it true. If you ask me, this game will be a phenomenon when it gets out. The video that they published is getting millions of views on the internet, and I understand why. There are content creators out there arguing that the way that they use the body cam as a point of view makes everything look more realistic. And yes, this adds to the realism, but it works together with everything else the developer has added. It's a combination of realistic animations, sounds, movement, and perspective that adds this amazing feeling to it. The fact that they choose to use a blurry pixel filter on the faces of subjects, as indeed in a game you would notice and break immersion once you see the NPCs' faces, they clearly know what they are doing. The developers construct an experience that shocks and puts you out there, in the game, almost like you would control a person in reality. These are very talented people, and I, for one, am impressed. One thing I want to say, I choose to cover this title as I know many of our viewers will take a look and be interested in it. Even though this is not a simulator, the devs even mentioned that in the FAQ. I linked it in the video description if you want to check it out. I felt it's worth to be covered on our channel. It's not a title you want to put aside, as it may just be the next step in the history of tactical first-person shooters, or even other genres like horror and simulators, why not? Plus, there is a lot to talk about the current technology and graphical fidelity we are about to tap in. But as I said before, a subject we can talk about in a future video. But tell me, what do you think about this new title? Does it have the potential to be the next pillar of advancement for the tactical shooter genre? Leave your comments down below. And that's it, thank you all for watching. A big shout out to our new patrons, Alex Pitts, Mr. D, and Richard Burnside that choose to support us 2 times. It really means a lot to us, thank you. Remember to check out sponsor VR Rock for your VR blue light protection and prescription lenses. And if you want to support our channel, feel free to use the thanks button here on YouTube, check our sponsor and become a patron. Remember to leave us a like if you find the video informative and subscribe to keep in touch with all the latest news on your favorite simulators and games. I am Andre Celesti, reminding you to fly safe, and I'll see you next time.